So hello guys, welcome back to my channel. And yes, for the third time, I am here in Mazda Makati. This is a very special one that I'm gonna do. If you noticed from my Mazda CX-5 all-wheel drive review, there's this old Mazda BT-50 here in the showroom, right alongside the new one. So it got me thinking, why don't I do a comparison between the old and new one? It might not be a fair comparison between the old and the new one, but this old one, where I'm sitting right now, has still a lot of tricks up its sleeve so it can still compete with the new model. And here, in the load bed of the old BT-50, looks familiar, isn't it? Because this is based on the Ford Ranger T6. That's actually what I've driven on my channel already. The Ranger Elite XLT and the Ranger FX4. Those two are my favorite pickups ever, especially the FX4. And also, speaking of those, this 4x2 2.2 manual is almost exactly the same as those Rangers. So I have an idea already how this drives, and I'm comparing this manual because it's the only one here in the showroom against the 4x2 automatic just there on the other side. I've driven the Rangers, they're both automatic, so I kinda can give my thoughts on both of the BT-50s on how they drive. But more on that later. Let's start here with this old Mazda BT-50. And there's literally a lot of hints that this is a Ranger. I mean, and you still have places here for like your water jugs, cups. There's actually two more here on each side of the trunk lid. There's even a weird space that I think you kind of can fit your phone. My phone doesn't fit, but maybe smaller phones can fit in this weird space over here. Despite being this the older Mazda BT-50, I don't remember having 6 tie-down hooks in the new Rangers. I remember those were being 4. This one has 6 on each side. Brake towing capacity, the payload capacity is literally the same. Just put it here on screen. And the weighting depth as well, exactly the same. They're almost identical with the new BT-50, but more on that later. And also the rear of this BT-50. The rear brake lights look a bit leafy, but to be honest, I do prefer the rear of this old Mazda BT-50. And more of the old BT-50 later. I'll join you in the load bed of the new Mazda BT-50. Now here in the load bed of the new BT-50, yeah, the rear looks just a bit better than the older BT-50, but I just prefer the headlights of the older BT-50. This one, they're long like every other pickup truck. It just looks like a D-Max on which this is based on. This new BT-50 is no longer based on a Ranger. This is based on the all-new Isuzu D-Max. I don't know why they changed partnership, but knowing the Ranger is a good platform to start. But I don't blame Mazda for changing partnerships. Although unlike the old BT-50, there's no longer a place for your water jugs and cups there. But there's actually just one here on the trunk lid. And notice this trunk lid is much shorter, like really shorter compared to that, and much lighter because I nearly broke my hand again in the old one. This is way longer and way wider than the older BT-50. But the payload capacity is just short by what? 30 kilograms? But it's not far off, you still can carry a lot of stuff here. And yes, being the new BT-50, you have a lot of accessories. I'll put all of the accessories in the description down below for this BT-50. Now, I think they have extended it to 200 customers. Now, before it was just around 100 customers who can get these accessories for free, if not mistaken only. There's even a BT-50 logo there in the bed liner, so it's actually a nice touch with this new BT-50. Weighting depth within both BT-50s is the same, it's 800 millimeters. The brake towing capacity as well is also the same, 3,500 kilograms. Yeah, there's just a few differences here and there, and of course, especially with the looks. And speaking of the looks, I'll show you the front guys of the BT-50s. So here with the old Mazda BT-50, as you can see, Mazda did not still implement the Kodo design language for this one, but this being the facelifted BT-50, the older one, actually, I think it will become a future classic, in my opinion. You have body-colored grills here. Actually, it's a nice touch. It's not like most of the car designs now. The grills are just black. This one's body-colored. Nice touch there. And as you can see, being the older one, these headlights are massive. Yeah, they're just on halogens, but I mean, look at that piece. That is massive. And yes, ground clearance also is 237 millimeters. It's the simple design here. And the wheels, I do prefer these wheels just a little bit than the newer one. And also what I noticed, hope you can hear me, the side mirrors. This is so Ford Ranger, literally like a Ford Ranger. Yeah, side profile, just one smooth character line. And yeah, that's all I can say with this old one. Let's talk about the new one. Now here with the newer Mazda BT-50. I mean, now Mazda implemented their Kodo design language, and as you can see, it looks much more beautiful than the older one. I did take note of the old one. The headlights of the newer one are way smaller. But this Kodo design language, as I said, looks way better. I mean, you have a bigger grille now, and it's black. And there are chrome bits around it as well. Yeah, and ground clearance now is also 235 millimeters, just ever so slightly shorter than the old one. I know I prefer the rear of the older Mazda BT-50, but overall design-wise, this new BT-50 takes the cake. And also I forgot to mention with the older Mazda BT-50, I do prefer the cleaner look of the older Mazda BT-50 because it has no cladding, but with this new one, it works. And also being a Mazda, with this Kodo design language, all of the cars now look exactly the same. But what's nice with this new BT-50, it looks so premium, so if you're going to like a supercar meet around in Makati, BGC, so on and so forth, this will not look out of place whatsoever. And this color alone, this is actually a pretty special color, I like it. I forgot the official name, machine gun gray or polymetal gray, just put it on screen. And yeah, I do like the silver one, I also tested in Mazda Classics. If you want to know more about the BT-50 4x2, I test drove that as well. The link of that will be in the description down below. That's a separate review. This video will be just a compare about the older and newer Mazda BT-50s. And also take note, that I just noticed now on camera, the side step of this Mazda, the newer Mazda BT-50 model is much bigger compared to the skinnier one of the older Mazda BT-50. So yeah, short summary, I like the rear of the older Mazda BT-50, but everything else goes to the newer Mazda BT-50. So with that let's go to the interiors, starting off with the older Mazda BT-50. So here in the interior of the Mazda BT-50, so I am here because it was against the light. There is one thing I really like about this older Mazda BT-50, and it's way better than the new one. You know why? This is based on the Ranger. Listen to this door thud. The Rangers are among one of the best sounding door thuds ever. This older BT-50, hence being based on the Ranger, sounds exactly the same. Hi Orbs. So yeah, what can I say about this interior? Outdated, but if you just want to take a trip down memory lane, yeah, I cannot believe this thing is still for sale, by the way. Phone pad here, and you have manual controls for your air conditioning. Few more blank buttons here. This layout is just a little bit different than the Ranger. Maybe it's based on the older Rangers than the ones that I drove. And yep, plastic here and there. Yeah, what else can I say? I know this transmission, this is a 6-speed manual, by the way, for this older BT-50. It does look like a Ranger. It's just given a silver treatment, and how to engage it, just pull it up. Yeah, that's how you engage reverse here. Exactly the same in the older Rangers. Clutch also feels similar to a Ranger. I have not driven it, but just pressing it, it's quite a bit stiff. It's like your usual pickup trucks, the clutch feel. It's a bit stiff, and I don't know how big the bite is because I haven't driven one again. Yeah, steering wheel, really hard, really girthy. Like it's polyurethane. There's like little to no squeeze at all. A little information displayed there in the middle. Actually, you can put your phone there if you want. Seats here though, yeah, leather, but it's more of the durable side. And then here in the center console, not much toys here. You have a cubby space here that fits my phone perfectly. 1 12-volt socket. For some reason, by the way, Mazda Makati, I know I've been here for days now, but I don't know where the okay, I just found it. Okay, there's one cover for the 12-volt sockets. They're both missing, but I found one, so I put here in the center console. And just in front of the 12-volt socket, you have 2 cup holders. They fit my water jug just perfectly. There's also a little space just in between. Center console box, nice material with this leather as well. Open it. Oh, being based on the Ranger, you have 2. One small one, and then one big one. Exactly the same space with the older Ranger. The lights here don't look a bit different. And then you have a sunglasses holder here, visors. You have a ticket clip holder on the driver's side. And you have a vanity mirror on the passenger side. Like all the Rangers, they don't extend. So sitting here in the older BT-50, it just feels a bit more old school. Oh, you have airplane style air conditioning vents. And then glove box. Like a Ranger, they're massive. And then you have two cup holders and cubby space on either side of the door. Plastic here and silver trim on the door. Just few soft touches here only, but they're still nice to the touch. So with that, I'll show you the rear seats of the older Mazda BT-50. So here, the rear of the older Mazda BT-50. And since we're here in the door already, somewhat same as fearless front. They're still surprising the soft pad here, but no longer here where your shoulders are. Also, you get smaller cubby spaces now, but you still have bottle holders on either side. Sitting behind you feels like the current FX4 I drove, since those were on leather seats as well. Although one awkward thing I found, the driver's side does not have a map pocket, but on the passenger side there is one. Just small, but hey, there is. And then sitting here, the leather is more of the durable side. And like the Ranger, you have a central armrest here with two cup holders. They don't fit my water jug, but smaller cups will definitely fit. Found something here, don't know what it is for. Not much toys here in the back. There's also a secret pocket here in the middle with, I don't know, you can tie down something here. Anyway, transmission tunnel, only that high. It's really wide, but if I sit here in the middle, yeah, sitting here in the middle now is a bit stiffer than sitting here on the sides, but gives you a straight back at least, I'll give it that. And not much toys here. Like the Rangers I drove, there's a weird cubby space here, just really small, and then you have 112-volt socket only. Litter dimensions is very similar with the Ranger. The headroom, the featroom, the legroom, exactly the same. Still spacious enough. And there's still storage here behind if you want to put your Christmas gifts here, want to surprise people. So that's it. Oh yeah, like the Ranger, hold on a minute. There are two coat hangers here behind the ceiling. So here now in the newer Mazda BT-50. Okay, door tab is not as good as the older BT-50, but this one's not bad at all. I mean, it still sounds thick. I mean, not bad. If I were to pick on which BT-50 alone based on the interior, this hands down is way better. I mean, yeah, plastics here and there, like a D-Max, but everything feels nice to the touch. Everything feels more plusher. Yeah, just highlights here, comparing with the old one only. You have a different set of your digital cluster. You have an infotainment system now. This is a smaller, since hence being this the 4x2 model. And this being the 4x2 automatic variant. Yeah, you have few blank buttons here on the side, but there's still functioning buttons for your hill descent control and parking sensor button. And then yeah, there's gloss black here, leather, soft touch leather here and there, even on top of the dashboard. This is what I like with this new Mazda BT-50. Even the hazard button is somewhere here on top. Visibility wise, for some reason alone, this newer Mazda BT-50 is way better. Dashboard set a bit lower, and since this being a tall car, you have to look down once in a while if you're running over stuff. Yeah, this new BT-50 takes the cake for me. And also, nice gimmick with this newer Mazda BT-50, you have a double glove box. Both are small, but at least there is. Also, I didn't do this in my main Mazda BT-50 4x2 review. My water jug fits in both of these cup holders. Yeah, the glove central console box exactly the same. If you want to know more about the Mazda BT 4x2, the full review of this exact variant will be in the description down below. Although, I do prefer the seats of the older Mazda BT-50 because those are leather. These are mixed with, I mean, this is fabric, but there's little hints here of leather like in between your thingy. Overall, yeah, the new Mazda BT-50 still takes the cake for me. So here, the rear of the new Mazda BT-50. Yes, somewhat same material in front. My water jug fits here in the rear, unlike in the older Mazda BT-50. The door stud as well. Still not bad. And also, unlike the older Mazda BT-50, look at this handle. It's weird. Wait, look at that. It's so wide. Oh, okay. Never mind. I might say something. Also, unlike the older Mazda BT-50, bummer for this one, there's no central armrest. Anyway, and also sitting here in the rear, yeah, it's a bit harder since these are on fabric compared to the leather of the older Mazda BT-50. But sitting here nevertheless is still pretty much okay. And a few more gimmicks here than the older one. You have 4-kilogram hooks here on each side, if not mistaken. No, just behind the driver's seat. But at least you have 2 seat pockets on each side. And then here in the center, there's more toys here to play with. You still have a weird cubby space here, but you have 1 USB port now and then 2 air conditioning vents. That is a very important touch with this new Mazda BT-50. And unlike the older one, there is a transmission tunnel, but it's very minimal only. If I sit here in the middle, oh yeah, I remember saying this in my main review of the Mazda BT-50. Sitting here in the middle, yeah, maybe a bit more elevated, but just a touch a bit softer to sit here in the middle. To be honest, I'll rather sit here in the middle than on the sides. Transmission tunnel still wide, but you can just put your feet up. And yeah, knee room, leg room, somewhat similar with the older. I think just a tad more spacious. Headroom as well, just a tad more spacious as well. Yeah, so that's about here with this new Mazda BT-50. Now here comes the interesting part for both of these Mazda BT-50s. I'll show you the engines. So this is the engine of the older Mazda BT-50. Since being based on the Ford Ranger, this is the old Duratorq motor. It's the 2.2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder diesel engine that produces 148 horsepower and 375 Newton meters of torque. So that's 10 horsepower less and 10 Newton meters less respectively with the current Rangers that I drove. But knowing this is the older 2.2-liter diesel engine, I know how this drives. So very smooth drive, but I don't know on this older Mazda BT-50s. Hence, this is the manual transmission. And this is the engine of the new Mazda BT-50, now being based on the Isuzu D-Max. It's a 3-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder diesel engine that produces 187 horsepower and 450 Newton meters of torque. So that's a way more powerful than the older Mazda BT-50. But this one is mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission. So I thought this was a Mazda thing, but I just saw the engine bay of a Isuzu D-Max recently. It's exactly the same thing. Take note, well, actually opening both hoods of the BT-50s, they are both heavy. Just take note of that. And also, if you can see there, of the new Mazda BT-50, Isuzu. Yep, Ford. So yeah, this is my first attempt on a versus compare video, whatever you wanna call it. So which is the one I would take? Knowing this was a Ranger, I love how the Rangers drive, but let's get this out of the way. This will be more comfortable than this newer Mazda BT-50. Just being honest, because I drove the Mazda BT-50 4x2 already. It is quite bouncy, however, it does make up for it with its engine power. It is so fun to drive and it's very peppy. With this older BT-50 though, it still has some charm in it. Let's not take that away from this older Mazda BT-50. And probably right now, this is the freshest in Metro Manila, and this exact one is for sale. I just put the price here on screen. So this Mazda BT-50, I highly still recommend it. This is one of the freshest ones in our market right now, but in the end I will still choose this new Mazda BT-50. Overall, design, interior, the premiumness, yeah, this takes the cake for me. So that concludes my review of the old and new Mazda BT-50. This is my first ever attempt on a comparo versus video, as I said. So hope you guys like and subscribe, and I will see you with more future car reviews. Bye bye.